Hi, I'm Rob Jolliffe, and this is the next installment in my virtual demo of Microsoft Dynamics NAV for manufacturing. So this demo segment is going to cover purchasing to jobs. Purchasing to jobs is something very common in the engineered order space, much less common in production manufacturing. So if you're in production manufacturing and you're watching this sequence, you might think, this doesn't really make sense for me. But we'll cover purchasing for production in the next installment. Let's take a look at Dynamics NAV. Okay, here I am in NAV, and I'm going to jump into a job. So I have a job here for Condoxy Model 100 text fixture. And let's go into the job task lines, and let's drill down to this mechanical bond. Okay, so here are a number. This is a bill of material for this Condoxy Model 100. This is the mechanical bump. And I've thrown some miscellaneous parts in here, so it's not exactly accurate. But what I have is I have a quantity that I require. And some of these items are in planning, and some of them are in purchasing. So a planner, as an engineer or a project manager who is responsible for adding the materials to the job and then sending them to purchasing. So as a planner, I've added some materials, and what I would do now is I would say, well, I want to transfer these to the purchasing department. I can't actually change their status directly to in purchasing. I have to do a transfer. Now what would happen normally is a purchasing agent would log in separately, and their task would be to look for items and transfer and bring them in. And there's different screens that allow them to see those in a summarized way. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to manually switch to purchasing for the purposes of the demo. And anybody who has the ability to do both planning and purchasing can use this as well. And now that I'm in purchasing, I can take these and I can bring them into the purchasing. So I'm now pulling them in. And the reason this is important is when I'm in planning, as you can see, the in purchasing items have been grayed out. And these other ones that are color coded, I can't edit any of the information that's relevant to a purchase order from here if these are in purchasing. So the dates, the quantities, these are all locked down. So an engineer can't send something to purchasing and then after the purchase order has been placed, change information. So I'm in purchasing, and what I have right now, I'll switch back to the purchasing mode, is I have 4 items that I need to place a purchase order for. So one of them is this this RSSK 3/16 inch steel sheet. So I need 100 square inches of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a purchase order for it. You're going to see that the color coding will change right away. So it's as easy as doing that to place the purchase order. So that's now cut a purchase order. I can drill down to that purchase order. Here's the purchase order number. I can click on it, and then I can show document. And here is the purchase order. I can print that. I can fire it off through a PDF file to a vendor. But here's my purchase order for $46.70. I'll go back to the job now. And so what I have, this purchase order right now, is done 2 things to the job. First thing, I'm going to go back here to the main screen, and I'm going to see this $12.90 when I refresh the screen increases to $69.40. So that's my outstanding, my committed cost, the amount of materials that I've purchased on this job and I'm waiting to receive. If I go back in, the other thing I'll notice is I'll see that that line has turned dark blue. So this is what a planner would see. The planner would see that that line's turned dark blue, meaning it's being purchased and it's going to arrive on time. If I switch back to the purchasing agent, you'll notice that this line, this one here is yellow, and this is yellow because although the item is being purchased, it's due to arrive on 2/16, but the planner requested it for 2/15, which causes it to turn yellow. Now, as a purchasing agent and as a planner, I can look into that. And then finally, I have this one that's red. Well, it was due to be delivered originally on 1/10, so perhaps this was something I needed to order to do some pre-work on, but it's late. It's actually, today is 1/25, so it's January 25th, and this is 15 days late, so it's turned red. As soon as it was late, it turned red right away. So this purchasing process, this system that's being created, is designed so that you can load bills of materials, which I demonstrated in a previous video. You can place purchase orders against these bills of material in a controlled fashion by having engineering release the materials to purchasing place the purchase orders, and then a status of the purchase orders appear on the screen through a color coding system. In addition, on the main screen, you can also see as you've started placing purchase orders or consuming materials by issuing them from stock or receiving the purchase orders, the dollars accumulate in either committed cost or an actual cost, a usage cost. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be covering manufacturing in a production environment, and particularly I'm going to be looking at MRP and some of the settings that are available on an item card for materials.